don't need to do what I did, which was use my own money, use my own time, and then have to gain the experience. Now it worked for me because I actually could use some of my skill sets from running a service-based business and move laterally, so to speak, into a service-based real estate investment with Airbnbs.
How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith.
Welcome to another episode of the Tactical Empire. I am joined by Sean Ryder. What's going on, man? How are you?
Not much. I'm good. We are getting closer to our family beach vacation. We have not been to the beach in 2 years, so that'll be exciting. This will be the first time we have two kids that are able to walk at the beach and actually do things. Last time we went 2 years ago, we had basically a just starting to walk toddler. So we had to we're going to be Hawkeyes on them anyways. It's the beach, right? They can't just walk into the ocean by themselves, but I anticipate a lot more activity this time.
That's what's in store for you, my man.
Something like that. I'm excited. We got a really nice Airbnb. It's a brand new build, super modern in Outer Banks. A lot of those homes are old, right? So this is a brand new build, beautiful, the way I like it. A pool at the house, 1 block from the beach. So my wife's family is like beach goers all day long. They'll be at the beach all day, but I'm the kind of guy that wants to be at the beach for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, go back to the house, back to the beach, go back to the house. So I'm glad that we're able to do that. Because when we went 2 years ago, we had to drive 20 minutes to the beach. I won't make that mistake again because I was there all day long.
Well, that's good, man. I hope you guys have a wonderful vacation. That's awesome.
Yes. Well, you guys are going from residing in North Carolina to you're going to move westward into Tennessee. So there you go.
Yes, we've been doing some good hiking. We went up to Grandfather Mountain yesterday or the day before yesterday, and that was our best experience so far. That was the best place we've been in North Carolina. Okay, just your best experience in North Carolina, not your best experience so far on the family trip. Well, maybe the best. Grandfather Mountain's cool. I saw your video, but you didn't show. Were you guys at the suspension bridge, or did you go the whole way up? We crossed the suspension bridge, and then that video you saw was from out beyond the suspension bridge. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Usually people show the suspension bridge, so I was like, is he at? Did you? So like, there's a little zoo there too, right? Yeah. A wildlife center with bears and cougars and bald eagles and otters and all kinds of shit. That's cool. Yeah. So it was a great trip. I did not expect it at all. It was very impromptu. We hopped in the car, went up there, and then I didn't expect it to be all that. And it was a lot of fun. It's worth it. It's certainly a day trip, but it's worth it. I've only gone one time. I haven't taken my kids there yet. So Kate and I went with some other friends when we visited without kids, and we haven't made that trip with the kids since we've had the Blowing Rock Airbnb, but that's going to be on the agenda for sure. So I'm glad that you guys did it because that's definitely something to see. I want to hike the entire Grandfather Mountain Trail because that looks amazing. We couldn't do it with our kids because there's ladders in like multiple portions of it. Okay. And it's a little sketchy for our crew at their age, but the views have to be amazing, that whole trail. And it's only like 2.5 miles one way. So you hike out and you hike back. So it's like a 5 mile hike, 4.8, something like that. So put it on the never ending bucket list. So Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, you and Justin just knocked out a 4-day real estate course. So how was that? It was amazing. It was exactly what we needed to produce for everybody because we covered like all of the basics. It was buy your next or first rental property in the next 60 to 90 days was the title of the course. We really spent 4 days, an hour and a half, 90 minutes a day, just laying out every single thing with regards to a real estate transaction and how to build a portfolio and how you get lending and how you source deals and how you underwrite deals. Is it a good deal? What's your offer price? All of it. We had a good group, probably 20 people showed up on a regular basis or whatever. And then We had the recordings that we loaded in, but it was something that we really needed. And people were already making moves by day 4. So like there were some offers made, contracts were written, partnerships were actually done as well.
There we go. And so today's episode is not going to be about diving deep on the content. That's why we're going to package that course up and make it available to people. So if you want that 4-day course, just reach out to us. We'll send you the link. But one of the biggest things that you said there at the end is kind of what people needed to take away from day one, which is if you're going to invest in real estate, whether it's by yourself or with a partner, and eventually if you're going to get out of the valley of death, 3 to 10 properties, you're going to have a partner. You and Justin talked about the 3 skills or 3 personal assets, so to say, needed to invest in real estate when partnering with someone else. And out of day 1, we had someone in the inner circle attend the course and then ended up creating a partnership after day 1 with another guy or 2 from the inner circle based on the information provided. So today's episode, whether it lasts 3 minutes or 30 minutes, I just want to give the people listening the simple, maybe detailed answer on what are the 3 skills or assets one would need themselves or when partnering with someone. Okay, I have this skill, they need the other 2. I have 2 skills, I need to find someone with the other 1, not just someone that has the same skill as you. So Jeff, you are the master at teaching real estate. What are those 3 skills or assets needed when partnering for real estate?
Somebody needs to have the time to evaluate the deals and operate the rehabs or whatever you're doing and manage the property or manage the managers. And from a standpoint of the money, that can be, the capital could be put up by anyone, right? It could be a W-2 earner that's got a day job. It could be a business owner that wants to get into real estate investing. And then the experience comes from like having a track record of having done these things, which allows you to get lending and allows you to source more deals, have more availability with regards to the lending opportunities that you have. More products are available to you when you have more experience, things like that. And also, how are you sourcing the deals? Some people are more well connected. And so when I talk about wisdom and experience, that's a lot of different aspects of it. Like, how are you getting the properties? Do you know people that are bringing you like off-market deals? But also then, like, how do you manage the property? How do you operate the property, and what needs done to it? Are you forcing appreciation into it? Things like that. From a partnership standpoint, you need all those aspects. So like if you were going in there alone and saying, I'm going to buy this property, and you've got the capital, or you're going to use a lender for the capital, then the money's taken care of. Maybe you don't need a partner in that situation. And because you are going to be the person that has time, and then you're going to develop the experience or whatever, right? It just really strategically depends on what you want to do and how fast you want to go.
Awesome. And so where do you normally see people that are new to the real estate game? I mean, I guess the answer is whatever, but most of the people that come to us, what would you kind of see percentage wise, which buckets they fall into?
Most of them have capital, but no time.
That's right.
And so
I agree.
So operators are in a really good position because they don't have most of the people that are starting our program or whatever don't have experience, right? And then they don't have time either. And so to be able to link up with an experienced operator like is very helpful to everyone involved. And I think I said during that course, it's okay to understand what season you're in too, because like there were some people on that call that were high W-2 earners, and they needed to stay in their day job to make it make sense, right? So like understanding that they could be a capital partner today, but 3 years from now, they might be the operator that allows to go out and raise capital from other people because they're willing to bridge the gap. They've got 25 properties then, and they're going to go ahead and quit their W-2 and hop into being an operator full time.
I like that you said that. So the lesson there to the listeners is that one, you don't need all three from day one. You don't need to do what I did, which was use my own money, use my own time, and then have to gain the experience. Now, it worked for me because I actually could use some of my skill sets from running a service-based business and move laterally, so to speak, into a service-based real estate investment with Airbnbs. And so, but when it came to my commercial building, I had to gain the experience of what it was like to own commercial real estate, like a high value piece of commercial real estate. And it wasn't a bad move for me, but it just, it was a big influx of capital investment. It required my time and attention, which I did have. But then once I had to utilize that time for my investments, then my calendar kind of got full. Even though the Airbnbs didn't take up hours of my time per week, it was some time. And then obviously gaining the experience and education via one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and just free education on YouTube and books. And then the second lesson there was you don't have to stay focused on that one skill, so to speak, from the beginning. Like some of these guys, we say, whether they're high W-2 or they have a business, they're not going to be able to completely just ignore their W-2 and their business to go full bore into using time and gaining experience in real estate, but they have the capital. So early on, they might use the capital that they have to partner with someone else, gain some knowledge from that partner to utilize in another partnership where they might level up with someone that's got, 5 times the money they have. And then they're going to use the skill set there. I've been vocal on the podcast that I've partnered with Justin. He's obviously taking the reins on the ground, doing the experience and time side of this investment. But I've definitely learned a few things from him. Am I confident enough to go out and do that on my own yet? No. Do I want to do that on my own yet? No. But I am learning from him as he sends me deals, as he sends me pictures of updates, as he tells me the timelines, as he tells me the next steps of these projects, which I do enjoy because I do like to learn about things. I want my accountant to teach me what he's doing so I understand why he's doing what he's doing, and then I can educate other people, so to speak. Can you tell a little bit about your story on, what type of investor you went to early on to the type of investor you are now, and what skill sets you've really transitioned from, maybe from all of it to one to the other? Because I know right now, I don't want to speak for you, but you are, doing the operator side a little bit more, especially with the storage unit deal, but you might be way more passive in some of the other assets. So why don't you tell the people kind of what type of investor you are and what skills you're utilizing in different areas of your portfolio?
Well, early on, I made all the mistakes of like running out of my own money. And so I own all of my own stuff. And so like, that was a really cool juxtaposition between Justin and I, because he's built his entire portfolio through partnerships, and I have built my entire portfolio through sole ownership. Like my wife and I actually own 100% of everything we have up until this storage facility, which we own 50% of. For me, early on, the mistake I made was I went in with my own money. I bought pseudo turnkey properties, and I ran out of money, and I bought them in my own name. And so I didn't have any experience from that standpoint. I just knew that I wanted to start buying. I did have a little bit of experience. I guess I owned an apartment complex prior to buying single family homes. But when I hopped back into real estate in 2018, I went in with the idea that I was going to buy single family homes, small to mid-size multi-units, like 4 or less. I would have benefited from partnering at that point in time because I probably wouldn't have run out of capital for one, but I didn't know what I didn't know at that time. So I ran out of capital, and then I had to learn all about the ways to get leverage and to use leverage to move quicker, and then DSCR loans and other things that I did that I was unaware of, because my first 5 houses I bought in my own name. And so those mortgages are in my name. They're on my debt to income ratio. They were done incorrectly by me. And so I would have benefited from having a partner with experience. And of course, the experience doesn't mean as much. To be fair, of the 3, that's the one that you can kind of outsource for sure. A capital partner would have been very important or very helpful, but maybe that capital partner would have known that we shouldn't be using our own capital or whatever, right? Like, so that could have went in a couple different directions, but so I ran out of money, and then I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, now I'm stuck at 5 houses. And how do I do this? I'm going to save up the money. Like, let's say you're saving $1,000 a month or something. Like, how long does it take you to get your next property if you need $30,000 for a down payment? So that's where I had to learn and be creative about forced appreciation, and learned how to burr houses. And like, so from 5 to 45, I learned how to burr houses very effectively and used other people's money for it. And I used, full transparency, I didn't go out and get private lending for a little bit. I worked for about another 18 months on my own doing hard money loans. And so I used hard money lenders, which are institutions that will still loan you a certain amount of money. Usually 90% of your purchase price is what they'll lend, and then they'll lend 100% of your rehab. So now there's lenders in Texas that'll do 100% of the purchase price and 100% of the rehab. So you can really move fast once you're experienced, but these lenders also want to see a track record. So the fact that I had already bought 5 properties, that was my pseudo track record to get started with it. So you can also use your partner's track record. So that's an interesting other thing that we don't ever really talk about. Like, if you partner with somebody that's more experienced than you because you want to be an operator, and like you're an up and coming operator trying to learn, you can use your partner's track record, meaning that like they've actively done 5 rehabs, 5 fix and flips in the last 2 or 3 years that they can lean on. You can send them the addresses. Then the lender will lend to you based on their track record because you're a partner with them. So they know that that wisdom and experience is being provided by someone else in the partnership. And so that's a way those guys can use the track record as far as getting themselves started. So there's partnerships. We don't really talk about this, but they could take a minority stake in a partnership to get the equity so that you could lean on my track record. So like, if you came to me and said, Jeff, I want to partner on this. I'm about to burr 50 houses in the next 2 years, but I've done 0 right now and I can't get lending. I could say, okay, well, I'll partner on the first one with you or whatever, and I'm not going to be involved, but give me 20% and you can put me on the first one and use my track record to get going, or the first 5, if you will. And then you've got your own track record and you can break it off after that. So like, that's another way partnerships actually work that we don't ever really talk about.
Okay. I like it. So let's just go with that and say, hey, the listener right now is what we see a lot of when people come into the group, and they have capital, they don't have time, and they don't have the experience. Sometimes people overestimate the complexity of the answer to some of these questions. I don't know where you're going to go with this one, but how would they go about finding an operator that has time and experience if they have the capital? What would be your go-to strategies from simple to complex, maybe?
It's really important that you kind of know somebody or get referred to somebody. So like, if somebody's out there doing it, but you know they don't have interest in partnering with you, you could still hit them up and say, hey, like, you could ask me, and I'd be like, well, I know a guy that you should have a conversation with. Justin would be the same way. Justin might have no more capacity to take on partnerships right now, but he may be able to point you in the direction of somebody else that's doing it right there in that area. Or it depends on what you're looking for, whether it's geography or geographically where you want to be buying, or whether it's like just a certain asset type that you want to be parking your money with. People that are doing this shit regularly know other people that are doing it. And so like, I also know a ton of people from the inner circle and things like that. And I know what their needs are and what capacities they have. And as you know, with regards to that group, most of the people that come in are high earners, but they don't have a lot of time to dedicate to this stuff. But we've also got a bunch of people that are a handful of people that are very interested in making real estate investing their full-time thing. And they have the bandwidth and time and capacity to do it. And so like, those guys could take on 5 partners each and really ramp up their business very quickly. And now, how do you vet them? It depends. Like, that's why I think partnerships are low risk in the real estate space for the most part. Like, getting started in these single family homes that we're talking about, most of these guys are doing affordable housing type deals, 250K or less. And if you burr into the property, you're putting out 25 grand, maybe less. And like, so that's the extent of your relationship that it needs to run its course. And everything is buttoned up with legal documentation. It's backed by real estate. So like, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't ever have to partner again after that one particular transaction. And if 6 months down the road, you don't like me, like, just sell the house or say, we're going to let it ride, and you let it sit there and make money. It's just, I think people get wrapped around the axle thinking they're going to have to spend the rest of their life with this person. And like, if they and everybody's got their vision for what they want to build. Like, I want to build this 100-house portfolio, and then I partner with this guy, and it's not a great values fit or whatever it may be. And then you think you got to do the next 99 with him, so they get panicked. Whereas like, it's not that complicated. You just walk away from him and do whatever with that property. You could sell it, split the profits, sell it, split the loss, whatever, or hold on to it until you can break even on it or whatever it is, depending on the financial situation. Just sit that over there and don't even worry about it.
Right.
It's a shelf LLC at this point with one house sitting in it. Someone's got to keep an eye on it, but it takes next to no time. Then you go build your 99 other houses with another partner or by yourself or whatever, based on the lessons learned. So it's not this huge commitment that everybody makes of it, in my opinion. And so I think a lot of people are not taking action because of what I'm talking about, because of that apprehension of it being way more of a really committed marriage than it has to be.
Well, you stole my next question, so I appreciate you answering that. I was gonna have you dive deeper into how people overcomplicate the expectations of real estate partnership. Well, if one of the partners is emotional, like, yeah, you might run into some issues there, but like the investment itself, the partnership itself, can be and should be pretty straightforward, as Jeff explained. I won't beat a dead horse, but he made it pretty clear there that like these partnerships should be pretty easily laid out, and it is perfectly fine to have different partners in the real estate game. You can have someone that you're partnering with that you're looking for single family homes in this area, and then you have someone else that you are partnered with that you're looking for single family homes in another area. Or it could be true that you're looking in the same area. Just one partner, you tap out their capital and you can't move any faster unless you partner with someone else to look in the same area. You want to have those conversations and be open and honest that you're going to be looking and possibly doing that thing. But the investments are pretty straightforward. This is not like, the service-based business where, excuse me, you have a capital partner and then you have another, excuse me, again, the sweat equity partner. And after 2 years, the sweat equity partner who brought no money to the table starts feeling undervalued because they're getting the same payout that the capital partner is getting, and the capital partner is not working in the business, right? That can definitely stem some high emotions when they're looking at a 40-hour work week versus a 0-hour work week. So no, I appreciate you saying that, Jeff. We gave people the answer. What type of investor or what type of skill sets do you bring to the table when it comes to investing in a real estate partnership? Money, experience, time. What I've seen is someone has two of those and the other person has one. You may not have three people with all, one each. It's usually a 2-to-1 in the partnerships that I've seen. Is there anything else that you want to hit on that specific topic, Jeff, before we let the people go?
I think another common misconception people have from a capital partner standpoint is that they think that because they're going to put up $100 grand or whatever into real estate, that means that they have to have a plan to leave what they're doing eventually and turn into this real estate investor. And I'm here to tell you that, like, you should do whatever you're great at doing. And there's no reason you couldn't be a doctor that is still a practicing doctor that loves what they do and build a portfolio of 100 houses with zero intention of ever being a quote unquote real estate investor. There is still opportunity, or a business owner. If you like the business that you're in, like, I think people oftentimes, and we saw this with one of the groups that we were involved in the past, people got this idea that like just because they started investing in real estate, that meant that they had to 2 to 3 years down the road sell their business to turn into a real estate investor, or like that it had to be this distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be that way. Quite frankly, I prefer capital partners that are focused 100% on something else, because like they should be focused on what they're focused on. I should be focused on what I'm working to, and then stay out of it, and allow everybody to benefit from the win-win. And like then that's a great marriage of a partnership, right?
I would say so. I would say so. But again, the people that are coming in and they're not investing in real estate yet don't understand that. So that is the point of this episode. I absolutely appreciate you bringing that up, Jeff. Find someone that they know their role, they know their part to play, and they stay in their lane. That is the best partnerships, whether it is real estate or a service-based business or other type of business. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys took away something from this podcast. That is definitely something that is a recurring theme with the men in the Tactical Empire inner circle when they come in and they start actually thinking about buying that first real estate property. And it was certainly a topic of discussion in the 4-day course from last week. And yes, some men took action based off of that information, and they are now moving forward with buying real estate with a partner. So I hope that some other people listening to this will do the same. Jeff, send the people out.
Yeah, guys, go out and check us out on YouTube, like and subscribe to our page. Come to the Tactical Empire Facebook community on Facebook. Let Sean and I know if you have any questions. If you're looking for partners, if you're looking to try to break into the game, hit us up. We've got operators, we've got capital partners, we've got other things, and we're all just trying to get better every single day. And so hit us up if you need anything or have any questions. Otherwise, have a kick-ass week, and we'll talk to you next week.